All right. This is just a demo for Matthew, but it's also for anybody who doesn't have traditional paint to paint their fired sculpture. I said you could paint it digitally, but I did not mean for you to do digital illustrations. I meant for you to literally color this image. So what I did was I hit pause, I grabbed a frame, then I went into Photoshop. And I've not done this in Photoshop. There's a lot of new features that I have not tried out. And one of them is up here. It's called the Object Selection Tool. It's really difficult to use the magic wand to select, but I just roll over the mouse over the object and that's what it thinks it is. And it's already got it pretty much selected. So I'm going to hit Control J. And what that does is, I turn my face off. What it does is it pulls the object to its own layer. Now there's still some cleanup to be done here, but it's got most of the work done. I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to continue demoing this part. So we still have the background of the sofa. We've got the object over here. I'm going to switch over to something else. What I want to do is I want to color the mask. So I'm going to choose hue and saturation, and I'm going to choose colorize, and I'm going to make it like full on red and dark. Okay, so that part is affecting this layer of hue and saturation affects the color beneath it. Now if I hold down the Alt key, the Option key, can you see how the icon changes from a finger to this rectangle with an arrow pointing down? If you click on that line in between these two layers, it makes it so that the red effect only affects the mask down below. Okay? And then from there you can choose another color. So let's say, again, let's go with hue and saturation again. I'm going to duplicate that layer. Duplicate the layer. I'm just going to call this one yellow, just so that I'll remember. And I'm going to click on the settings here and move the slider all the way over to yellow. Now I don't want everything yellow, I want only parts of it to be yellow. So right now whenever you see white in the box covering the layer, that means it covers everything in there. Now if I hit I've got black selected. If I hit Option Delete, it makes this yellow, this black box means everything is hidden. Now when I use the eraser, you want to think of this black box as like a curtain, and I'm punching holes in it with the eraser. So if I go to the eraser tool and let me choose a brush. I'll just use this one. I want to use a default brush. So if I start coloring with the eraser, I can start creating patterns, you know, like tattoos or something, and they're all going to be yellow. I don't want this to be this way, so I'm going to I don't want this to be in the shadow, so I'm going to hit X, which swaps these two colors, and then it'll get rid of the yellow that I just did. So right now I'm only painting yellow. So I'm sort of trying to color him like Darth Maul or something. You know, like try to find places where I can apply some of these effects. Now, that's just using two colors here. So I got yellow and I got red. You can also go with a soft color. So let's do it again. Let's make another new hue and saturation layer. And I'm going to hit Alt to stack it on top of this one layer here. I'm going to colorize it. And I'm going to make this like a cool color, purple. And maybe a little darker. Now I don't want purple everywhere. I just want purple, say, in the shadows. So I'm going to go back to the eraser, and I'm going to use a big, soft, round eraser to softly erase. And the trick to making your stuff look good is knowing how to switch between soft and hard erasers. I'm using the bracket keys to swap. So now I'm just erasing the parts that are catching light and leaving the purple in the shadows. And the thing is, I'm just trying to rely on the photograph to give me all the value here. So right now, I didn't color the teeth. I need to make a separate thing for the tooth color. And the other tool you can also use is this finger, the smudge tool. Oh, I have this thing set up. You can drag some of that color around. And you don't have to worry that it'll spill onto the sofa because it's already locked down to the alpha of the layer down beneath it. And I might be using some terminology that might be confusing to some of you. I apologize. I know that this can be confusing, but it's just a mileage thing. Anyway, I hope that makes sense to you guys. I know it's a little weird to wrap your head around, but that's really all I wanted to show you. Let me turn everything off. So here's the original photo. I made a set adjustment layer for red. Well, I also pulled the original photo to its own layer. So if we're starting from the bottom, here's the photo. Here's the face of the photo pulled to its, or the mask pulled to its own layer. I'm turning on the background behind it. There's red for the base color of the creature. Then I made some yellow marks, and then I added some purple for shadow. And if the shadow is too much, you can always slide the opacity down, until it, is where you want it to be. And you can also play with different layer modes to see which one, that's kind of interesting, which one gives you the effect that you really dig. But this is what I meant with using Photoshop to color your sculpture. I meant literally color your sculpture with Photoshop. But you'd have a different adjustment layer for different colors. And it's just like making tattoos. Okay? I hope that helps, and I hope I didn't confuse you.